Hey friends, good morning. Soul Exchange just popped up a few seconds back. Something that quite a few people have been waiting for in an enthusiastic way. However, this is the first Soul Exchange where I haven't been so enthusiastic for some reason or the other. Of course, I have started playing another game more actively, not crazy active. However, it's not about that talk, it's about this soul exchange. But I wanted to start with why I'm not experiencing that excitement. So, yeah, and I was cleaning my glasses because without that, I cannot see properly and hence talk properly. So, we now know the tiers clearly, and also, excuse me, that there has been no change. All the heroes that Small Giants released, they're very much over here. So let's go through each one of them. I'll be able to speak about them more properly because now I have a hero, active hero card. Okay, so looking at the tier of 10, we have Chaco. I'm going to skip trying to pronounce names. So we've got Chaco, slow speed, old hero of the month. He is useful because of his impact all situation where damage, mana debuff, immunity from status effect buffs. So, I mean, prevention, and of course, the element link does some teeny tiny thing. There is a benefit that this Legends family of 21 brings, which is depending on the number of heroes deployed. There is 10, 15, and 20% critical chance, which is very important. And the bonus for 2 plus heroes, element link applies to all allies instead of just the element of the hero, which is what element links are, as per definition and description. So that's that. Passive, of course, the mana reduction, which is nice. Resistance. Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that. And of course, plus 24 mana gen for 3 turns, which upon receiving a negative stack, which helps speed this guy. But as you can see, the max preview, the actual stats are 3 years old, and max preview is of the current base stat. This max preview is LB2 and 25 emblems. So now heroes are coming with base stats, which is of this particular number, where this is higher. This is at least 100 higher, if not more. So you put in, even if you were to give all the resources possible to this hero, this hero will be a base stat hero, which is being introduced currently. I wanted to make this clear with the first hero itself, so the same logic can be run through wherever required. So it'll become very quick. So that's that. Matilda. Of course, you can see the stats, but her claim to fame, apart from this is, and this is the special. So if the special, there is a solution. There's a very easy solution to this special. She has never been, except when I have not got tiles, she has been painful. Otherwise, Arco has taken care of this. So I got Arco fairly early, and when he was introduced into the game, so all these fiend fellows got sorted out. And combining Gazelle and Arco together was absolutely lethal. Till date, it's lethal. That's how powerful that 2 combo is. So, no dated, because more and more rosters have got solutions against Fiend. I will go to this Erebus. I'm not going into detailed hero card because now all know how to read a hero card. She's an impact 1 hero. Obviously, destroys all minions from one target, and the impact increases in the second charge to target cannot summon minions apart from the whack and destruction of minions. And in the third one, it's a combination of the first and second. That's what the Styx heroes are. Irrelevant for today. Himeros, the blue guy from the Love family. So, of course, this is cool. This is really good for himself. But you can see the stats. It's the same situation. Heroes today are coming with this as a base stat. Very fast speed. Claim to fame is dispels first and gives a whack and enhances self and nearby to increase damage over 3 turns. Useful, but there are many other high impact fellows. If he was hitting 3, which could have been 460% damage to the target and minor to nearby, that would just increase his value significantly because he is very fast. And these days we are getting very fast fellows doing that. So just not there, but for certain rosters is going to be useful depending on when you started the game and where you are in the game. Because it's useful to have a hero that damages and debuffs. And debuff before damage is awesome. Sylvaria, one of the, again, older heroes of the month of the 22 family. Resistance against minion removal and Forest Guardian minion burn. The character receives burn status when they summon a Forest Guard minion. And Forest Guard minion is quite beefy. 40% HP, 40% attack. So that is a padding for this hero. Good thing the hero does is gives a defense down first, then a whack, and then minion to all, which is a skinny minion rather. But you can see the stats. This is starting stats of current fellows. So in the top tier, the one that makes complete sense is this fellow. And I will leave it at that. Yeah, I stepped out to just quickly get my coffee. Let's talk about the second tier, starting with Nyx. Love her, still love her. When she arrived, then, because what is really amazing, and I think she started the trend in the Tower Heroes of being impact all at first charge, which means 2 matches or whatever that 6 tiles ensures she is charged. I'm talking about regular troops, blah, blah, blah. People who want to do decimal calculation, you're most welcome to do that. Skip me in that. So from that perspective, I have liked her from first moment she arrived because of Impact All. For me, Impact All heroes have a lot of relevance, and her Impact All at first charge is absolutely top class. Damage to all. When she arrived, her stats were latest, which means 220% was a fairly decent damage, but all allies get plus 30% attack for 3 turns. That was awesome because I would then be able to, obviously tile damage goes up, and plus hero specials that are ready, they just go and blast off. So the combination of the two things at first charge is absolutely brilliant, which I use till today. She's limit broken 1, and she and Amethyst get I will show the team, so get ready and blast off. So that's that, and then you can read the hero card, so I will leave that. There is this passive. Character has innate resistance against status elements that affect defense. applies to also status ailments that affect elemental defense. So that's really cool. So that's Nyx. Uh, Lahu's claim to fame is he whacks hard and heals himself. That's fine. There are quite a few who do that. But, and there are quite a few who actually benefit the whole team. They whack hard and heal the whole team. So they are more important. This is the one that still is relevant, and there are really painful, badass minions out there, and this passive negates that. Of course, it's on the way out because every buff debuff is going to be negated. Every special capability is going to be negated so that it becomes useless and new capabilities can be introduced. That's how every gacha game operates. So, Empires and Puzzles is no different. They'll create a problem, let you enjoy it, create solutions, let you enjoy acquiring that solution and using that solution, and then they will twist the problem. So, this is still useful. I see the next 3 to 6 months this being useful, or maybe even longer, but this is going to be useful depending on what level you are at. If you're a mid to lower level player or new entrant, this is going to be useful for the next 1 year. So, worthwhile hero to look at from that perspective, apart from giving a direct whack. This is the number, again, based at starting stats of current heroes being introduced. Barkley, the fire fighter, love him. This is good, this is good. And and I got him on day one, or early, I would like to believe, when he was introduced. And enjoyed using him. He is irritating when he fires. But if my heroes are reinforced, then he doesn't kill them. And then Arco does the job, because Arco is average speed, so functionally fast, takes care of the fiends. So many times, I mean, a big chunk of my gameplay since fiends were introduced and Arco joined my roster, there onwards, I have looked forward to fiends on my heroes, because then their health goes to a completely different level. So that's that. Wax 3, 1 is direct and 2 random, and quite hurts, and of course there is damage over time. So it's a combination of that. Very good hero, useful hero. His stats are a little better but still this is on the lower side compared to what's coming today. So I cannot compare it honestly with today. But as a total package, he's a good fellow too. Eminem was insane, and I don't like Impact 3 support heroes. I absolutely don't like them. I don't even give them mats. But this hero I gave mats and was absolutely disappointed when she was made useless. So you can see the special, but the starting when introduction special was absolutely amazing, and she's of no use from any angle because she's a support hero, and Impact 3 support hero. Impact 3 support heroes era is long over in today's times. Unless there's a mind-boggling special, Impact 3 of this type is of no use. And stats also are of no use. This is the starting stats of heroes being introduced, so I will leave it at that. Queen Ain, the green taunt. Good class, good family. This is good. And let's remove this. So I would say she has the taunter's stats, which is okay. There's something missing over here because there's nothing crazy. 6 turns is a really long one for a taunt, and Aether Power shows that the starting is 3 turns, and that does cause irritation. But unlike Ludwig, here the taunt and the subsequent special is nothing great. She heals herself, allies, all allies get 65% defense for 6 turns, and mana plus 44% mana generation for 4 turns. Sorry, 6 turns. So they really speed up. And that really causes an issue. But no, there are easy ways around it. However, in certain types of play, taunt still has use uh, on a defense team for sure, and on offense, completely useful in rush for sure, where you have the taunt hero taking the whole blast and the other four fellows getting that one, two, or maybe even 3 turns to do things. So having a fleet of taunters is useful, and from that particular perspective, she will be useful for those who would like to pick a taunt hero of a specific color. So within this particular tier, Nyx is my first because she would impact constructively all rosters. Whatever people might say, but yes, she will require all resources. If you are not planning to give her all the resources, then she will still be useful. I have her at LB2. Sorry, I have her at LB1. I hardly give anybody LB2 in legendaries. And she has brilliant use. I'm going to take you into my. So, there she is. This is my dark team. This is the team that I use to whack. I'm not making too many raid videos and hero tests of late, otherwise, you will see. But of course, this is the team that I use for tests. But here she is. She's LB1 with 18 emblems. And this is the team that, excuse me, decimates opposition. They charge, Gazelle charges, it's story over. But the usual play for me is Nyx and Amethyst charge up together. I fire them first, which means fiends are already on and the buff is in, and then the other two fellows charge, and then I have Panther who's fired first, and then Aramis goes with his whack. If Gazelle has already provided the buff, then it's game over by that particular time. If Gazelle's buff is not there, still these four fellows do the job fairly well. And then another move, the other two fellows, and that's the final nail. So that's how it operates. Let's go back. For me. So Nyx is going to be my first. And then it's a toss between Barclay and the Taunt Lady. And only a special case if you require to solve this, look at it. We move to the tier of 20. Guardian Panther. What do I have to say? Elemental defense down of minus 54% against Dark for 4 turns from the original version is gold. Elemental defense down is gold. Full stop. And the costume bonus has really impacted the hero stats. So that is awesome. And you can see the numbers over here. Sorry for my throat, it's really irritating. But I want to complete this instead of it being delayed because I have to get on with something else. So let's get this out. Going into the version. This is an Impact All version. Impact All heroes are really good, and especially Elemental Defense Down Impact All. Awesome. Green, Impact 3. Holy, Impact 3. Then Ice, we have another Impact All through Cinnamon. And in case of Fire, we have one which is a tiny Impact All. That's Ray, but mainly Impact 3 again. So Impact All, awesome. And she is absolutely active, as you saw along with Nyx. So Guardian Panther costume is gold. The other important factor of this costume, apart from the damage all and elemental defense down to all, is the last portion of the special. All enemies are immune to new status effect buffs for 3 turns. This stops opposition rock stars in many, many times and gives me that 1, 2, or even 3 turns to get my things in place to create a victory. So, top hero. Anybody who's saying dated, this and that, doesn't know how to play the game. I'm going to be very direct because anybody who has some idea of how to play this game will not use those terms. Only dated aspect is the stats, which have been considerably improved with this. The game is not going to give the stats which is latest. So let's get real on that. But this addition to the stats is fantastic. The other part, which is superb over here, is she operates, of course, because of fast speed, very comfortably will charge up with legendary troops. That 5% additional mana bonus from the costume helps. So, operation, I was able to get the legendary troop matching her talent, so really works. And this stats again is, I would say, fairly decent. Attack is really good. 1400 attack is good, even though the current heroes coming in are with 1600 or close to 1700 attack, which is fine. She's an impact all. So 1400 for an impact all hero, which includes damage, absolutely fantastic. So if you already have Guardian Panther, you'll get 2. They will dance together and it's absolutely fantastic. So, yeah. Dated. I'm still laughing reading some of the comments on the forum. Okay, Yekun. Again, I will say I like his 8th power, which is counterattack. It is irritating. If you want to take this hero, you have to be ready to give resources. All heroes that you're taking in Soul Exchange have to get full resources. Remember that. To be able to, because if you're giving 10, 15 or 20 of your existing legendaries to pick that hero up, then resources is a no-brainer that has to be provided to that hero. Otherwise, don't participate in the Soul Exchange. So, oh, he's not so strong, but remember, he's very fast and he gives different ailment to different elements. And of course, wax all. This is a decent number, though it's a starting stats of current heroes right there. I still use Yekun along with my holy team because the tanks are still dark tanks in a lot of play. Till recently, I was using him also on the Titan team for tile damage. Of course, now I have other fellows who give higher tile damage, so I have shifted him out. He's not useless as one thinks. He's very fast, which means he charges fast and he stops. Darks get accuracy ailment, ice gets defense down ailment, nature gets mana slowdown ailment, and fire gets attack down ailment. All this is useful. So you could do a 4-1 strategy or just take him on your holy team. He charges first, does his job. The problem comes when players want to use him in tandem with elemental defense down, then defense down, and then use him for damage. Using Yekun for his damage via the specials is the last thing that a player should be using him for. Think. That is the last thing that I use Nyx for. I don't wait for Costume Panther to get charged up, then I fire Nyx. I don't even wait for the second charge. I don't use any of the logic. For me, speed is what is now a big thing in the game, so I use the hero according to the strategic specials that I can deploy. That's how it is. So Yekun, if you're thinking, I will fire him as the 3rd fellow after the other 2, the elemental defense down, this, maybe the 4th fellow, buff. So you must be having some hero that gives buffs. So after buff, elemental defense down, and then this, then you don't know how to play the game. And I'm going to be straightforward. So somebody feels bad, well, give it a thought instead of feeling bad. Because It's very easy to trash heroes instead of looking at what the hero card provides, because you give resources, you have improved the hero card, but the hero card is where a latest hero can come, but only has stats to show off and some bit in the specials. This is a very good hero card. So it's up to you how you put him to use. And he's the first one to fire. Even when he's traveling 4 holies and one somebody else, he is the first one to fire. So that's the strategy I used. I would say good hero. Phoenixa, Bard, Monk, both things would be very happy to people. Chance to revival is reduced for all enemies in the battle. So that's 20%. So that is useful, but nothing great. Specials is where the magic lies. So there is a heal for all. Duration of the buffs is reset for all. Both decent. Then comes all allies get plus 30% critical chance for 4 turns. This is very useful. Critical chance plus 30 is good. Of course, there are heroes that are out now which are giving 50% to all. Okay, but plus 30 is not less. Then all allies get plus 50% attack for 4 turns. So there is plus 30% critical chance, plus 50% attack. She has average speed, so she can be functionally made fast. Very good support hero that heals. So she's doing all those 4 points of the special is excellent. This is useful for all the fellows who are cribbing that I cannot use legendary troops on my heroes for blah blah blee blee blue blue reasons. She comes in really handy. So very good hero. Be ready to give her everything so that her stats help her survive. Tinsel, the 4th one, 2-year-old in the game if I remember well. Let's remove this so there is no illusion, even though you can see starting special of current fellows, starting base stats of current heroes. So nothing to show in the card except there's a possibility of a harder whack, but 340% damage to target nearby enemies if I don't pay too much attention to the attack stats being low. Even with this, it's not massively high. Elf minion is skinny, so irrelevant, nonsense. The other important factor is defense down to target nearby is useful, and obviously can stack up to minus 54% defense down, which is really good, and then up to minus 50% accuracy, which is also brilliant. So those 2 things, whack, defense down, and accuracy element helps. So that's her main claim to fame. Fast speed, brilliant, because then she can be used easily with legendary troops. Good hero. Though the minion part is where I'm not paying attention. Green Knight. When he arrived, he arrived with a bang. This is a good family bonus because there is critical chance involved in this. So if you line up a couple of them, you can have critical chance via the family bonus route available. Ability to revive is useful. Let's look at the stats. So I would say these are decent stats, even though they are close to the starting base stats of current heroes. So he will clearly require, if you're picking him up, all resources. Unfortunately, there is no costume of his out, so he doesn't have the benefit of the costume bonus. Otherwise, if you load on the costume bonus, this would become completely a different picture, which is available with quite a few of the Avalon heroes. Now his special is a good special. Wax, before damage, gives defense down for 3 turns to all enemies. Then gives damage to all enemies. And there is 5-turn buff, resurrection buff that he gets, and in case he's killed during those 5 turns, which eventually is going to happen quite regularly, and a lot of players put him in the wing. No. Average speed guy, he should be placed in the flank. We don't put green tanks unless, and of course, he cannot be. The best is to put him there because then he gets charged and fires. As a tank, we don't want him killed. We want him to fire. Of course, he doesn't have a resurrection eighth power. So once he fires, then he is very painful and he creates victories. That's the strategy. So, and because when he resurrects, he comes quite beefy, which is 45% health, and gives 765 damage to all enemies. And with Aether Power, yeah, that doesn't increase. I just wanted to double check that. So, Green Knight is a good hero to pick up in case you don't have. And there is another very interesting thing that's going to happen. With Green Knight, one will use Avalon heroes more on offense, not defense. I'm talking about offense, because I was thinking, what is that additional thing that Green Knight would bring? And he's a damage fellow, which means there can be a little bit of fun that can be brought in, because 3 fellows ensure 15% critical chance, which is fairly good enough. So, sorry, not 3. They haven't put 1. So yeah, 4 will require 15. So 10% critical chance. So I would like to say Green Knight is a good contender for people who are looking at an impact all hero, because he is an impact all for self benefit and provides the benefit to the team, and that resurrection buff is very, very useful. But what makes him extremely valuable is he can be used on both offense and defense. Now, some will say he's dated and hence defense days are over. I would say yes, I understand that, because it can be dispelled, it can be stolen. I have stolen it many times and used it against him and team, because I use the Hatter very regularly, almost on a daily basis, which is really cool. So that's that, but still he has decimated my team. So there is no two ways about that, and that's it. So any hero that can be used on both offense and defense is a useful hero. Combining that with an impact all hero, impact all aspect, very useful hero. So I have spoken about everybody. I have said in the first row, it is this fellow that makes sense. The rest of the fellows will depend on what your roster requires. So please look at that from that perspective. In the second row of 15 heroes, she makes sense. So, and depending on your roster, this one and this one. In the last row, very clearly, top priority is Guardian Panther costume. No two ways about it. If you don't have the costume, get the damn costume. If you already have a Guardian Panther, then it is going to be brilliant, because that existing one is going to become superb, and you will start using immediately both versions, and you will complete the second one to take them out for a play together, or they will impact 2 of your teams, because every player at certain level has at least 4 to 5 dark heroes, and Panther rhymes with the other, because if you're doing a 3-2 strategy or a 4-1 strategy, whichever strategy, Panther is brilliant. And as I shared how I use Panther Nyx as a combo, you can see I basically am using 2-2-1 strategy. 2 of them fire, and that's not the color. Tile damage is 4-1 strategy, but specials firing is 2-2-1. I ensure that Nyx and Amethyst fire first, then it's Panther and Aramis, and if I have got the benefit of the Gazelle buff, that adds to it and ends the game, and I win very regularly with this particular team. And they are not LB2s, they're all only LB1s. And so, no brainer, just get her. Rest of the fellows, and the next person that I will say is a tie between Phoenixa and Green Knight, where Phoenixa has a slight edge because she helps in survival of the allies and obviously buffs up their allies. So she has a very clear edge over there and over Green Knight. So she would be my second recommendation, and of course Green Knight for things that I've already discussed. Now, if you already have Costume Panther and you want to pick up a second copy of Costume Panther, then I'm going to urge you to see if the benefit of having Phoenixa, and you don't have Phoenixa, so that's the assumption. So then you need to see whether Phoenixa will really bring extreme value into your team. I'm going to keep this because whoever is picking up the hero will have to give all resources, which means you have to arrive at this particular spot at the earliest possible to enjoy the hero. Otherwise, that hero is going to be killed, slaughtered, murdered very quickly, and hence will not serve the purpose for which you have picked up the hero. So I would say if you already have Costume Panther, then Phoenixa becomes the number one in this tier, depending on your roster requirements. So see if you already have these specials available to provide to your team. If you're not using red color so frequently, then obviously you don't need to listen to this talk on this particular specific point. But I would say look at her because she then is a massive support hero with all the four parts of the special to the whole team. So that's important. And of course, if you have a situation where you don't require those previous two, then Green Knight is a good option to have because that will impact your roster. And he brings that fun element by resurrecting and kicking ass. I mean, don't we love it? So, or coming back from the brink and stealing the win for the team. We love that. So, that's that. Yeah, that's about it. So I trust that this helps very, very clearly. And if I have to say the top hero in this particular portal across tiers, it's a tie, I would say, between Guardian Panther costume and Phoenixa. Because two very powerful one, Panther costume gets a very clear edge with Phoenixa, so he's just half a step or one step ahead because of the elemental and the impact all. And what Phoenixa brings to the play is available through certain other heroes also, because these days hero special includes buffs, debuffs, reset of buffs, prevention of buffs, and also some of them have heal inbuilt, which means Phoenixa gets negated. But what Costume Panther brings into play that nobody else has. That's the rationale and the logic. So, Costume Panther in this portal is the number one hero worth getting, and it's worth picking up, I would say, if one wants. She is the next, and then the third hero that I recommend in this particular portal is Nyx. But you have to be ready to give all resources to reach LB2 25 very clearly. Otherwise, don't participate in this because you'll not be happy. So, having said that, trust this helps. Wish you the best for getting your decision correct. I know who I am getting because I have got the heroes, most of the heroes over here. When I had seen the first list, I was thinking about him, but I know I will not use him because I know how much I use Xiaotu. I use him specifically, and I have got two. So I have got the Green Dragon. So between the two of them, I already have a solution to this. So no. So you'll find out who I have picked up. Okay, so let's get the hero I want to take. which tier. And who is it? Yeah, I would like to send you. Lolo, I have quite a few, so I can get rid of some, but let's see if there are others that I want to let go. Yeah, I'm sending her because I already have one that I started leveling. I'll keep him for now. I haven't even started a copy. 17. So let's do this. Let's do this. 19. And Gilad. Yeah, I already have one leveled up. So let me just quickly look at if I have. Yeah, the healer I will keep for now. Lolo is versatile, can become relevant anytime. So yeah, I've got 20. So obviously it's the 20 tier. This is the one. I'm not going to use Phoenixa too much. I believe in damage based play, and I have enough roster to create the situation that Phoenixa brings. So I will get this fellow to go with what I want. And since I have said that I'm going to, if you're getting the hero, then give all, I will give him the LB2. But yeah, he's the fun part. So let's get him. So it's Green Knight. That's my choice. These are the fellows that are going. And since I'm not pulling, I'm seeing it's not Heroes of the Month. It's now the older heroes that are going to go. So that's that. Green Knight joins the roster. Welcome, buddy. And trust your decision is helpful and clear as early as possible. So good luck getting that. And thanks for watching. Cheers. See you in the next one.